LOS40.
Buenos días. How are you?
Buenos días, buenas tardes.
Hi.
In
Hi.
Spain, buenos días. There in which city are you?
San Diego.
San Diego, California. Cool. I'm from Barcelona, and I'm talking from here.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was there in September for a roller skating festival.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
Love
super cool.
Barcelona. Yeah, it's beautiful there.
So now you do some skate instead of surf, or you always did?
Yeah, always did. I just like to dabble in things, you know. I like to do something till I get the hang of it and then try something else.
Okay, we are recording for LOS40 Classic. Thanks for your time. You have a new release, Lalalalovesongs, a collection of your love songs, including your super hits and yours, I Won't Give Up, Have It All, and your super Grammy-winning duet, Lucky, and Always Looking For You, that it's never been released before, no? Fan favorite as a digital bonus track. Mm-hmm. And also you have a special vinyl version in neon pink that I haven't touched yet, but it feels that it has to be beautiful. Congratulations for your new release.
Thanks.
Love is maybe the topic of most of your songs, pop music, and the force that rules the world, or some people say. Or I don't know if it's just an idealistic wish. Now that we are in war in Europe, and we both believe in peace, and you work for it in your songs and in your foundation, and love each other, as you recently tweet, pray for peace. Which are your feelings now and this strange situation that we're living in? And then you can see.
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing in the world, obviously, the cry for help, the cry for peace, that's love. I mean, I feel like there's only two things that we're ever doing or demonstrating in this world, which is either I am love or I want love. So we're either giving it and helping others, showing up, meeting them for even this conversation. This is love. This is love you have for your job, love I have for my job, the love we have to make communication and connection with fans and music lovers. You know, or there's the other way that says I'm missing something and I need love, I want love. And those who really lack it, you know, can find themselves in utter desperation that leads to, you know, chaos, destruction, sadness, depression, that on that side of the spectrum. So when I put love in my music, it's because I love singing, and because I love creating. I love to open my notebook and see my thoughts and dreams unravel at the tip of a pen. And it's this powerful creation feeling, like the Big Bang. And ever since that, we've all just been creating, dreaming, creating. And I feel like we're an extension of that initial explosion. And I feel like creativity is love, or at least that's how I feel when I'm creating. I feel both, that my humanness is craving love, but then also my humanness is creating love by doing this music. And so with all of that just love chemistry going on, it makes sense that my lyrics would reflect that somewhat. You know, that my lyrics would be charged by love, would be charged by creativity, by optimism, by connection, by union, by peace, by harmony. So, you know, my songs have always been pleasant, and they've always been written to make a connection with or for someone. So I bet in my younger days, I don't bet, I mean, in my younger days, I would try occasionally to write something that was cool, or yo, I don't know, and here's my opinion about this, but that felt like me just trying to fit into some political, social formula, agent of change. But really, I think the best agency of change is to be love. You know, whether it's actually reach your hand out and help someone, or create something for the world that is better for the world and the people and animals in it.
And you do so not only in your music, because you work for a better world in your foundation, Shine, working for inclusion, inclusive arts, education, and the advancement of equality. Are you working on it right now as well?
Yeah, so we're constantly taking applications and giving out grants and money, and then we were doing a show every year, and then after the pandemic we've been a little delayed, but we're on track for probably about 15 months from now to be back on stage. But prior to that stage time with our program is we actually collaborate with existing programs and schools to help build more inclusivity in their program and in their community, build more awareness and acceptance in the community for all walks of life. And we use art as a medium to do that. So it really gives us a way to celebrate the money that we've earned, but also celebrate the arts and how the arts are a connector and can strengthen a community. So yeah, always working on that at the same time.
Is this your studio in San Diego, the one
Yes.
we are seeing it?
Yes.
Because I've read that you are currently working in your studio on your next album that it's also has to be released this 2022.
Yes. Is it 2022 released? That's a good.
I don't know.
We're gonna give it a try. You know, I've been. I'm gonna give it a try. You know, my process is no different than it's always been. I'm always trying to make great music, and once I have what I feel like is a great playlist of songs, then I'll put an album out. And then it's also finding the right window of time to put the album out. You know, when the content really speaks to the heartbeat and maybe the mindset of the world. You know, if the music doesn't match the mood of the planet, then maybe it's not the right time to put the music out. So, but
yeah,
if love is
always... are they gonna sound very different from Lalalalovesongs, the others that you are working on?
I hope so. I'm always hoping to make something that I haven't felt or heard before, because I don't want to just keep repeating myself. Lalalalovesongs is interesting because it's a compilation of all my albums, aside from one new song, essentially new song, unreleased song. And each one of those songs had a different producer on it, but it still has a sound that is, you know, comparable to each other. So I don't think my sound is really going to change that much. Although when I write, I do experiment quite heavily, and I make all kinds of music and all kinds of sounds and use all kinds of filters on the music and my voice. But in the end, usually something that sounds like pop radio is where I'm going to land.
Mm-hmm. So you are a little bit more experimental on studio, and then you kind of clean the demos to release the Jason Mraz sound.
I think so. I mean, I'm always looking for what the Jason Mraz sound is, and I don't know if it's this. I don't know if it's really a sound or if it's just what's important are the words and melody.
Yeah. It's been 20 years since the release of your debut studio album, Waiting for My Rocket to Come, and you earn lots of certifications, platinum, multi-platinum in more than 20 countries. You perform in all the continents, including on an iceberg in Antarctica while on a trip to raise climate change awareness that I really celebrate this initiative. And any special memory you want to share of these 20 years, maybe from Spain, like you were talking about Barcelona, that you've been a while before?
Yeah, well, my most recent trip abroad was to Skate Love Barcelona in September of last year, which was just lovely. It was about a week-long roller skating celebration where people from all over the world gathered to celebrate their love of roller skating and learn from each other. And it was just lovely and it was honestly the first trip I've taken in many years that wasn't music related. It was just a vacation, and I got to do it there in your beautiful city, which was great. Yeah, I played on all 7 continents. I am fulfilled. I'm very blessed that I get to live a life where I can handpick and choose the kind of dreams I want to experience, or the hobbies or the interests that I want to pursue. In some ways it's a curse because there are so many options that sometimes I spread myself a little too thin. Whereas in the old days, or when I was younger, 20 years ago, when I was making my first record, I did one thing, and that one thing was play my guitar and write songs. And here, 20 years later, I do 1,000 things. And so I spend less time on my guitar, whereas I'm spending more time on piano and ukulele or bass, trying to write a song on the bass guitar. Mm-hmm. Or I'm working in a garden, or I'm at a school helping to build a music room, surfing, roller skating. You know, the older I get, the more of a child I feel like. I feel like I've gone backwards to just like, I just want to play. I just want to play. And maybe that's the freedom of becoming an adult, is that we can make more time for play. And I'm hoping that play, as well as having seen the world, but I'm hoping that play influences the music that I'm making right now, so that when I do go back out in the world, it's a playful experience, because certainly the world has been a little tense the last couple of years, you know, and it's probably always been tense. I know for many on this planet, it's always been tense. And I'm hoping that all the media and art in this world that highlights how intense it is, we can evolve to a place where we're caring, loving, kind, and we can use that media for all the playful, joyful celebrations that there can be.
So you, instead of getting older, you are getting younger, like Benjamin Button.
Yes, I like that. I feel like music and avocados, they keep me young.
The other day I was talking with Brian Adams, and also talked to me about avocados, because he's vegetarian.
Okay.
Yeah. One of my favorite songs of yours, it's an old school reggae raga called Vote Louder. Do you remember that song?
Oh yeah, I very remember.
Yeah. Supporting Bernie Sanders, that should be president, man.
Woo! I know. He won the primaries for the Democratic ticket here in the U.S., but there are so many big people and influential people in government that are afraid of him, because he wants to give the power to the people and make it true democracy, right? Leading into 2020, we knew it was going to be a heated year. We knew it was going to be a year for debate, conversation. We needed change. We needed radical change. So Vote Louder was a song. We have a thing here where, it's really important that we vote, but then we have this issue, or it seems that musicians are told to be quiet and not express your political view, or do not influence a vote. Just tell people to vote, but don't tell them who to vote for. And I disagree with that. I said, it's time to vote louder. It's time to vote loudly and expressively, and let people know why we're voting for the person we're voting for. And that song, Vote Louder, was really a lot about Bernie's, I should say, the democratic socialist view of a vote and how great our country could be if we had health care, if we had education, if we had less money spent on war and more spent on taking care of people. And that's really what Vote Louder was about, was being inspired by Bernie Sanders' campaign and writing a song about it.
So you don't regret at all about talking about politics in your songs?
No, I don't regret it. I mean, that song didn't end up on an album because I thought in 20 or 30 years, hopefully we'll have all that. And I don't necessarily want that album in the middle of an album of love songs. So that song came out as just a digital single.
How would you define success? That you got a lot of success during these 20 years, but it seems like you are beyond numbers of sold records and everything. And I was curious to know your definition about success in life.
My first measure of success was not having a day job. So when I started playing my guitar, I still was working two jobs, usually. An easy job during the day and then a night job of some kind. And that helped me afford guitar and some recording equipment. And so for me, the first level of success was, I don't want to have any job. I want music to be my job. I want to make enough money singing songs that I don't have to have a regular job and get my bills paid. And luckily I was able to do that. Right before my first album, I was making music at a coffee shop and recording songs and selling songs at the coffee shop. And between the tickets at the door and the CDs that I was selling, I was making enough to get my bills paid, which was amazing. And that kind of artistic freedom gave me, I think, the time to really create what became my first album. And then it just snowballed after that. Now I perceive success. Success for me would be to not have any social media accounts. To not have to log in and see not only what the world is doing, but see, to create content for all those channels. Because in a sense, they're created to make connections, which I love, but they're also created to be commercials. And I don't want my life to be a commercial forever, So that's my new gauge of success. But as long as I'm making music and putting music out, there'll always be commercials. So I'll still be on social media for a while.
Yeah. And I hope you don't feel like in a commercial talking to media like now.
Well, you're a human being, so sometimes social media, there's no other human there. It's just, a camera and,
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about a huge post-pandemic tour around the world presenting Lalalalovesongs?
No, I'm not. I don't know what post-pandemic world looks like yet. We are going to do a 1 month of touring this year in July. We're actually going to go up to Canada. We haven't been there in 10 years, maybe more. So we're just going to do 1 month out. And it's also a tour where we're testing out new songs. We're learning how to play them. And then we'll finish up our recording in August, September after that tour and put the final touches on the album so we can get it out as soon as possible. But then after that, so maybe in 2023, we'll start in trying to envision what a world tour looks like. But it really depends on the state of the world, the state of air travel, pandemic, peace, all of that stuff.
Yeah. So now it's gonna be only America and Canada.
Yeah, exactly. Just anywhere a bus can take us, you know. So we're just going to get on a bus here in San Diego and drive up to Canada and kind of do a lap.
Maybe Mexico then.
That would be lovely. That would be lovely. Some of our strongest listenership is in Mexico City, and I've only been there once, so it'd be great for us to go back down there.
Do you speak Spanish or a little bit?
Estoy trabajando en él. No.
Because would be lovely to hear, some words from you in Spanish. Maybe in a special ID for the audience of our radio station, Los40 Classic.
Los40 Classic.
Yeah.
Sí. Hey, what's up? It's Jason Mraz. Estás escuchando Los40 Classic.
Hey, that's super cool.
All right.
Do you listen to podcasts or radio stations there in San Diego? Or you are too full? It's no empty room for more things on a day?
You know, every week I'm listening to a completely different music genre. And right now I'm listening to Moog, M-O-O-G, Moog, synthesizers.
Yeah. The old school synthesizers.
Yeah, so everything this week is just synthesizer music. Next week it might be opera or singer-songwriters. I keep my life filled with sound. I will occasionally listen to a podcast when I'm driving to LA or something where I need to, pass the time, a lot of time. But most of the time, if I'm working around here in the studio or in the garden, I'll just throw on a new musical genre because I'm experimenting in my own recording. So I think it's important to fill my head with sounds, new sounds and combinations that I maybe haven't heard yet. So that I can find new sources of inspiration, or I can find out if I'm, there's so many delicious sounds from the 1970s and amazing albums from the 1970s that never had their digital revolution. They never had their digital moment where millions and billions of people are listening to them. And so I'm trying to discover sounds and ideas from these old albums and old recordings that might be worth bringing forth, might be worth not to say covering them, but are there ideas or sounds combinations in there that could be reimagined? So that's where mostly my head is.
Would you recommend us any classic now that you were talking about the sound of the 70s? Any like favorite music you would recommend to people who maybe wants to rediscover any classic from the 70s or?
Dennis Coffey from 1974. It's kind of like coffee, but with a Y at the end. The album is called Instant Coffee from Dennis Coffey. And something about the 1970s, I think it was the musicianship, because the musicians of the 1970s grew up in the 50s and 60s. And they grew up listening to radio, turntables. They probably had a piano in their house, probably were influenced by rhythm and blues, Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Johnny Cash, the Beatles. And you get to the 1970s, and now all of these music fans are the music creators. And paired that with the expanding recording technology of the 1970s, where you're really getting into multi-track and 2-inch tape and better tube sounding microphones. Things are becoming more available to recording artists. You're even getting into a little bit of digital / synthetic music in the 70s. And so I feel like it's this perfect marriage of talent and the technology. The technology was just right. Today, the technology is all in a laptop or phone. And so the compression and the sounds and everything sound totally different than they did in the 1970s. There's more air and more warmth in the recordings. So I find that this Dennis Coffey album from 1974 is very exciting. What else? I'm a big fan of Ted Lucas. Unfortunately, Ted Lucas passed away in the 90s, but his children released his music posthumously. And he was a musician out of Detroit, Michigan, who played on a lot of people's albums, but he himself made a few recordings. And his album, he only has one album, Ted Lucas. It's hauntingly beautiful. It's one side is blues and raga that sounds like it's from the East, but then on the back side 2, it's all beautiful, heartbreaking singer-songwriter with rich, delicious harmonies.
Man, you sound like a classic radio DJ.
Hey, thanks. You know, and I love the 70s era, Grateful Dead and Jerry Garcia Band, and I love Steely Dan and Michael McDonald. You know, who doesn't love those? Those are like the legends of the classics, you know. But I like to dig. I like to dig and see, you know, who fell between the cracks. You know, I was born in 77, so I wasn't present or conscious when all of this was going on. So I love exploring that era and yeah, they sound new to me. You know, it's the beauty of our digital age is we have more music at our fingertips than ever.
I will talk to my boss, if he's going to make you an offer and have a radio program with us, talking about your classic fountain of inspiration would be amazing.
That'd be fun.
Meanwhile, I hope
work on my Spanish.
Yeah, well, it could be in English or Spanglish or Californian or whatever.
Cool.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I hope you have a lot of success and great time with your new album, and hopefully you have this nice tour in America and Canada, and we can see you in 2023 if
Wonderful.
possible.
Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Thanks for all these kind words.